Okay, so our last country is Iran. So they have a Ayatollah. His name is Al-Khamenei, Grand Ayatollah Al-Khamenei. That's him right there. And then their most recent president is this fella. His name is President Hassan Rouhani. And they are a theocracy, we have said. And they have some voting, but again, this is a mix of, voting rights. You vote for the president, but the Ayatollah has he has a decision-making process in who the president will be. So, that's not the kind of democracy we have. That's not what I would really call a democracy either. It's kind of semi-faco democracy. Okay. They're also known as the Islamic Republic of Iran because, again, they are ruled by the Quran like Saudi Arabia, but they are Shia. So they use their Shia influence in Iran and what they believe the law of the Quran is versus the laws of Saudi Arabia, which are Sunni. But both countries would be pretty strict in their interpretations of the Quran and putting that to use as government law. So they are called a theocratic republic. Theo is God or deity. Cratic is the government part, so the government of your God. Republic means that you have a representative to represent you that you should have voted on. So they get to call themselves a republic because they do have voting. But is it really free and fair? Not by U.S. standards, no. That's not how we would want to do voting here and hopefully won't. But they are based on the religious principles, the Shia Islam principles, and it says, and the wishes of the people, meaning they do get to vote. They have a constitution that offers its people many of the same freedoms as the U.S., but that constitution is restricted by Islamic law. So if they counter each other, then Islamic law wins out. You can't speak against the religion in Iran. You can't speak out against what you disagree with in Islam. They were founded in 1979 by Ayatollah Khomeini. There was a coup, overturning a revolution of the government, and the old government was thrown out. They had a Shah who was basically a dictator who they didn't like, but he was secular, meaning he did not really have a religious government, and instead they replaced it with a religious government. So the supreme leader, who is always an Ayatollah, is the religious authority of the country. He says what is and isn't in line with Shia Islam. He is chosen by the assembly of experts and holds the position for life. So we watched that Vox video about how the Ayatollah gets his power. And it reminds me of how the Pope gets his power too, but also just like the Pope, that's his position for life. Now the president is voted upon, but he is under the rule of the Ayatollah. So his guidance or his structure comes from whatever the Ayatollah tells him to do. He can have 2 terms of 4 years each, which is like the United States, actually. And their legislature, just like in Iran, is called the Consultative Assembly. So, same as Saudi Arabia. So Iran and Saudi Arabia's legislature is both called the Consultative Assembly. The people do vote on the Consultative Assembly as well as the president. And the popular vote wins, just like any democracy. If you're 18 or older, you may vote for all the members of the Consultative Assembly. So this really does feel like democracy here, and that you have a say. And it's not bad compared to Saudi Arabia. I would say that citizens participate more and have more choice in Iran than they do in Saudi Arabia in choosing the government. However, because the Ayatollah has the ultimate say, again, your authority to govern yourself as a citizen in a democracy is always reliant on what the Ayatollah decides. So what freedoms do they have? They have limited freedom of moving around. So they need to know where you are and what you're doing there, especially for women. And I would say that's true in Saudi Arabia as well. And especially if they know you don't like the government or you speak badly about the government, they'll keep track of you. Women are forbidden in certain public places. This is also true in Saudi Arabia. Again, this is part of Sharia law, such as sports stadiums. You can get a passport to travel in another country with the permission of a male figure like your father, your husband, older brother. If you don't have a father or husband, it would need to be a male relative. And if none of that's available, if your son is an adult, then he could make that decision about you getting a passport if you're a woman. Sorry. In June of 2014, the government said that girls' leggings that had become very popular, just like they are in the United States, was a threat to Iranian culture and Islamic law. So they banned it. They banned it, meaning it's not allowed. Also, there's pressure on young men about their dress and appearance, like no ponytails, don't look Western, meaning don't look like Western Europe or the United States or Canada or, the Americas. Women are not represented in politics and government. They're not allowed to have those positions, or if they do, they're limited. But there have been 4 women governors hired in Iran. And they are denied equal rights in divorce as well. So, unfortunately, just like many places in Southwest Asia and other parts of the world, women have limited rights especially. Okay, so here is what I want in your notebook. You should have going across the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, and then 4 countries going down with Israel, Saudi Arabia, this could be called the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Republic of Turkey, and the Islamic Republic of Iran. So everything off the PowerPoint. And on this one, I want you to tell me what type of government they are. For example, is Israel is a parliamentary democracy? Are they based on religion? So I want a yes or no. Is the country a theocracy or not? And I'll let you decide on Israel there. Who's the executive branch? Like if they have a president or a prime minister or king or ayatollah, what the legislative branch is called, and then what does it say about what citizens can do and what freedom citizens can have. And whether or not you think they're fake-o-democracy. Are they a real democracy over here? Do the citizens really have good voting rights? Is their vote effective? Do they really get a say in their government or not? Okay. Do good work. Work hard. I'll see you later.